So what's special about nutrition? Nothing is actually more important than what you put in your mouth. It makes you and shapes you. So how does nutrition actually make you? It's not only what it's shaping you, not only in terms of your body composition or your body figure, which we all generally think nutrition is all about. No. Nutrition is all about your mental thinking, your cognitive thinking, your physical fitness. Everything is where nutrition comes to shape you and make you. So it can actually make you or break you also. Like if there is not good nutrition coming into your body, it may also break you. It may not give you the right energy levels. It may not help you to think better. It will not help you to move better. So what we actually do, we may spend so much of time in, buying all unnecessary things, spending our money on mobiles, expensive mobile phones, clothes, shoes, whatever, which is not really necessary. And we don't really put a second thought, on how to spend our money on food. We really don't give it a second thought. So we try not to lose our financial assets, but very easily lose our health, which is our biggest asset. And always remember, if financial assets are lost, it can still be recovered. But once health is lost, it can never be recovered. Yes, nutrition is 24/7. It is not that I do it, I'm eating fine for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. It is a continuous process. Every time there has to be nutrition going on, good food going on into your body. It is also preventive. So we go to see a doctor whenever we are sick. But as I just mentioned, nutrition shapes you whether you are on a diet or not. So basically we are all on a diet. It's either good diet or a bad diet. So there is no off diet, no pause button on your body. Good diet is equal to a better body and bad diet is equal to a worst body. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is the science of providing all required nutrients in adequate quantities, essential for repair and growth of tissues, maintenance of body functions and health. This is basically just a definition of nutrition. Now let me talk about optimum performance. Nutrition will not only give you the best performance while exercising, but also the best performance in day-to-day life. Now, how will your nutrition help you and fitness help you in your day-to-day life? So typically, as a women can understand that as a day-to-day life, they have so many chores, daily chores to do. Get up early in the morning, then start cooking, preparing the whole house. If they are working women, preparing the whole house, get to prepare the food, cooking the food. See to their children are all ready. Then husbands ready. Then set for work. Or if they are homemakers, also cook, and everything is on time. Energy levels should be at its peak. So that is where nutrition is really, really important. Not only nutrition, fitness. So your movement has to be swift. Supposing I'm standing and I'm doing cooking. I'm cooking. And there's back pain and this pain. So it deters you from your daily life. Secondly, then in emergencies. Supposing I'm going, there is sudden emergency. There's fire anywhere. You should be able to lift yourself and run. Now, if I have any issues in my body, I will be slow. I may succumb to that fire. Or not only that, supposing I'm traveling by train and I have a heavy suitcase. And nowadays, porters are pretty expensive. Not only expensive, they'll have a lot of fuss carrying this and that. I may have to carry it all by myself. So if I have that strength in me, if I have the strength in my body, I take that suitcase with me and I'll travel. I'll go all by myself. Then to escape injuries. This is also very important. If you have a fit and healthy body, you will be able to escape injuries in what way? Now, supposing you just get up from a bed one day and you sneeze hard and you see there is a, sudden catch. You feel that there is something going on in your back or something in your side or something there. So these are all, if you are fit, if you have a good body, fit body, strength, full of strength, and you're eating well, all these things you will be able to combat very well. So basically nutrition is not just to, for exercise or to become a model or a film star. It is for your daily routine. That is where nutrition and fitness comes into play. And we are all common people. We are not one of those. Yes, athletes are also there in these amongst all of us. But still, most of us are normal people, following daily routines, where nutrition and fitness really comes into play. And why do we need fitness? And it's come for best functional abilities, which I just mentioned. And how can you get those? Basically through musculoskeletal strength, your cardiovascular stamina, your joint flexibility, and low or normal body fat. These are the three fitness factors. Now, what is optimum performance? Optimum performance is when your body from inside, your internal organs are all functioning very well. Now, all systems and organs in the body is like bones, joints, muscles, heart, lungs, blood vessels, all are functioning the way they are supposed to be functioning. Basically your physiological aspects, they're all functioning very well. Then your basal metabolism. See, every day there is repair and growth happening in our body. That should happen in the way it is supposed to happen. And then nutrient metabolism. Whatever you eat, your carbohydrates, proteins, fats, they should be metabolized in the right manner. Now, typically, how do we get diabetes? When you cannot metabolize carbohydrates in the right way, your body is not able to really metabolize carbohydrates, you may land up to the disease called diabetes. So, we need to perform well. The optimum performance will happen only when these factors are all in place. Does everybody need nutrition? I just mentioned, yes, everybody needs nutrition. No need to be an athlete or a model, everybody. So what is happening? We are all now living longer, right? But in that process, we are aging much faster. Now, there are two aspects of longevity. One is health span, one is lifespan. Lifespan is you're getting older and older. But what is health span? In that whole process of getting older, you have to be healthy. Now I know most of you are very young, but as we start getting older, we see that our body functions start, deteriorating, our functionality starts slowing down. So in that process, what happens? We are aging, but our aging process starts much faster. We are not able to, cope up with the aging. Aging should be absolutely smooth and without any kind of lifestyle conditions, any lifestyle condition diseases, your joints, your muscular movement should be all good. That's what is called health span. You are aging very well. You don't need support of anybody to move around or do anything. Then we have more technology, but there is more stress. We are all stressed in this today's world. A very small example I can say, like one of my clients, he just came yesterday. He was in his early 70s. So he was telling me, ma'am, I asked him, do you have blood pressure? He said, yes. I was absolutely fine. But it so happened that Mumbai is the traffic is so bad that driving, it gave me so much of stress. And I landed up, that's what the doctor attributed to stress and attributed to my blood pressure. I suddenly see that I have blood pressure. Work-wise, he was very happy. Family-wise, he was very happy. So then he said, immediately I stopped driving and I got out of a driver and I felt that, yes, now I'm much better. And his blood pressure started normalizing. So small stress, little thing stress. Stress on performing, your office performance. There's so much of stress. So with age and stress is actually pulling us back. But we need to run faster because there's super competition all around. We have to run to catch up. If we have to reach there, we need to prevent ourselves from lifestyle-related diseases, which I just mentioned. Lifestyle-related diseases are typically diabetes, blood pressure, cardiovascular condition, fatty liver. So these are all lifestyle-related diseases. So we have to prevent ourselves from there, and we need to do an age reversal. We have to stay fit and strong till the last day of our life. Now, these are 3 levels of nutrition. One is just for survival, where you are preventing your deficiency. If I compare it to your financial aspects, then it's the poverty line. You are at the poverty line level. Next is your optimum health. You're preventing disease. Here, you're out of any, again, if you compare it to financial levels, it is basically you're out of debts and burdens. And optimum performance is your best physical, metabolic and physiological performances. Comparing there, you have the best standard of living and you have a very comfortable life. So, we have to aim for that optimum performance. Yes, for performance, we need fitness. What are the 5 components of fitness? This is typically mainly related to your body movements, your exercise, mainly your exercise. Musculoskeletal strength. It is through, we all know, it is a combined strength of bones and muscles, tendons and ligaments. These are all parts of your body. And it's the ability of the skeletal muscles to perform against a given load. And how do you improve your musculoskeletal strength? It is through your resistance training and strength training. So what we all know, through resistance training, you're strengthening your muscles and bones. Now, and that is how you get strength. Actually, you attain strength. Attain strength is just not, we are all, it's just not for, just for purpose, I'm getting strength. No, it's mainly for improving your day-to-day function. Strength is required in every step that you take. Every movement you need strength. You have to just lift a heavy load, or maybe you have to just carry your kids, babies. You need strength. How will you do it? You need to put in some muscle. You have to do some weight training. Weight training doesn't mean you have to just, lift weights like that as to going into a gym and start building up dumbbells and barbells. No, you can start with your own body weight. Take up some resistance bands and do some resistance band. Wherever you're getting resistance, start with that. But there is the concept called progressive overload. Body gets used to one level of poundages. Then it needs some more extra strength, extra poundages to build up that strength further. So hence, that's the reason when you need to go to a gym and really do good weight training and keep improving on your poundages. Next is your flexibility. It's the ability of a human body to move, with full range of motion. Supposing I'm stretch. How do you improve it? Basically through your stretches and yoga. It really brings in a lot of flexibility. But how, so typically, again, in your daily movements, if you just sit on the floor, you will just be able to sit very well. Your range of motion is going to get up. You'll immediately get up. You may have to squat somewhere. Again, you will get up. You may have to do some lying down and you have to just push yourself up like this. So there's all different range of motions. It will be amazing if your flexibility is good. Next is your cardiovascular endurance, your heart strength. This is your heart strength. Now, it is the ability of the cardiorespiratory system to supply rich oxygenated blood to the working skeletal muscles for an extended period of time without fatigue. Now, most of us, when we climb upstairs, after a certain time, we are all tired. We start seeing gradually our legs start hurting, then gradually we are going breathless. And that is where this cardiovascular endurance needs to be developed. You can do it through any kind of aerobic exercise. Even stair climbing is good enough. Simple walking is also good enough. But we may start with simple, plain, slow motion walking, but then gradually you have to start making it brisk so that your endurance, you start building on it. Then muscular endurance. It's basically the ability of the skeletal muscles to contract sub-maximally against a given load for an extended period of time without fatigue. This is all isometric movements. Pilates, CrossFit. This is also required because if you do this, your muscular endurance your muscle will be able to endure more. And if your muscle is able to endure more, you will be able to lift more better. Because your muscles are now able to has the stamina to lift more weights. And last is the ideal body composition. You need all the other 4 along with good nutrition to get that ideal body composition. This is a very key component of your fitness. The 3 tripod of fitness, the 3 legs basically, exercise, what I just mentioned, challenge, stress that causes breakdown. Whenever you exercise, there is breakdown. Breakdown of what? Breakdown of basically your muscles and muscle cells, skeletal muscle cells. So that needs to be repaired. So how do you repair? Basic with nutrition. You put in that raw material, the main nutrient being protein, of course, and you start repairing. And repair and recovery also happens through your rest. You sleep it out. You sleep well, 6 to 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours. Sleep well, and your body recovers, and there you're fit for the next day again. Now, these are the basic common health indicators. Very, very important. Your ideal body weight. See, again, I really don't talk about ideal body weight. But this is one way we see if you are there nearby. So for its height in centimeters, minus 100 for males and 105 may be used for females. Basically, 100 minus 5 for males, 105 minus 5 for females. In centimeters, your height. That is how you do this. Then BMI, your body mass index. It's basically weight in kgs over square of height in meters. So you see the BMI value. If one is less than 20, you're underweight. 20 to 24.9, you're normal weight. 25 to 29.9, it's overweight. 30 and more is obese. This is one of the marker, but not a very important marker. I'll tell you why. Then waist to hip ratio is very important. So you take it in inch or centimeters, you target, and if males it should be 0.95, females should be 0.8, should be less than this. So this is a very good marker to see if you have, if you have more of visceral fats. Now let me just talk about a little bit of visceral fat and subcutaneous fat. Subcutaneous fats are the fats which is just below your skin. And visceral fats are fats which is there in your organs. So this is and when fats are there in your organs, that is a more dangerous condition. So we have to start taking care of ourselves immediately if that has ever happened. So this is a very good indicator, waist to hip ratio. Now waist circumference is also a very important indicator for your health. Same for visceral and subcutaneous fat. Subcutaneous fat is not that dangerous. It's not. You can still live well with subcutaneous fat, but visceral fat is the dicey fat. So males it should be less than 102 centimeters. Female it should be less than 88 centimeters. The waist circumference basically near your navel or just below your navel. The most important factor is your body fat percentage. It is the percent of body fat weight of your total body weight. Now, why I said BMI is not that important a factor than this body fat percentage, because now if a person is muscular, muscle is absolutely the most metabolically active tissue and the most healthiest tissue of your body. And fat is, of course, the unhealthy one. I mean, we don't want that, right? So, what happens is when you're calculating your BMI, you're calculating your height with the weight, right? Now, weight is something which is your whole body weight. Your muscles, your organs, your everything, your clothes, everything comes into that. Your skeleton system, organs, everything comes into that. Water, fluids, fats. So that's the weight. But when we check for body fat percentage, it's just checking your fat. It's not really checking your the other components. And what we really need to see, how much percent body fat it has. So when we are doing a BMI, we are doing it with weight, which is indicator of your whole body weight. A person with high muscle mass and less body fat can have the same BMI of same height, can have the same BMI of a person who has less muscle and more fat. Their weight will be the same. It can be the same. But a person with more muscle is always more healthy than a person with lesser fat. Okay. So what is the target goal? Its not primary target is body fat, not weight, which I just mentioned. Target weight range, not ideal body weight. So I just mentioned this, ideal body weight plus 5 kg, ideal body weight plus 10 kg for males and females. And target low body fat percentage, females it's 20 to 25%. So 20 to 25% is very ideal for people who are young. After a certain age, we pull it to 30 for females, because females are childbearing, so God has made them, given them more fat in their body to carry their child. And males is 15 to 20%. For them, it doesn't change. So what is basal metabolic rate? We all say our metabolism is slow, We keep narrating on that. So what is actually? It is actually what we're talking about is basically the basal metabolic rate. What is the basal metabolic rate? It is the body's internal function at rest. When you are at rest, your body is continuously, your physiological processes are all on. Your circulation system is on, your respiratory system is on, your nervous system, everything is, your brain is functioning, everything. Your repair, your growth, everything is happening. So the energy required at that time of rest, so that is what is called as BMR, the basal metabolic rate. So BMR can be expressed as the speed of basal metabolic activities. I just mentioned what are all the physiological activities are basically that is what is actually measured. The speed of burning calories for basal metabolic activities, amount of energy required for basal metabolic activities, or the total energy requirement or 24 hours calorie burn. That is what is the basal metabolic rate. Now, so if you are actually this actually decides your basal metabolic rate, decides your thin or your ectomorphic, endomorphic, or mesomorphic. So if you have a very higher level of basal metabolic rate, naturally you will be on the ecto means thinner type, and if you have a slower basal metabolic rate, then you'll be naturally be on the overweight side. Now, there are many factors which rule basal metabolic rate, and that is many factors. Certain factors are hormones, your age, then your body size, everything. So there are, and many more. So there's a different topic altogether. So before I go into macronutrients and micronutrients, I would like to talk about calories. We all we've measured our energy requirement in calories, but it's actually not calories, kilocalories. So and whatever we eat, that gives us energy, and that is what is actually the calorie. So food is divided. The nutrients are divided into two major classifications. One is macronutrients, micronutrients. Proteins, carbohydrates, fats are the macronutrients. Vitamins and minerals are the micronutrients. Now let me first talk about carbohydrates. We are all, I must have heard of so much about nutrition. I know you must be absolutely aware what nutrition is all about. High carb, low carb, high fat, low fat, optimum protein, less protein, high protein, keto diet, this diet, low fat diet, so many diets. And there are many who really vilify carbohydrates. They say, oh, carbohydrates bad. No, I will not touch carbs. I will not do this, not do that. But carbohydrates is essential. Yes, it's not essential for our, brain function. We typically see glucose is the most important energy for our brain, but still, if we are in a ketogenic diet, brain does take over, the ketone bodies take over and give us energy. So the main thing is, but still, for energy purpose, our day-to-day energy purpose, we 100% need carbohydrates. So carbohydrates is only providing energy. Protein is mainly for tissue and muscle repair. And fats are emergency energy stores. They have more functions, but these are the basic functions. Okay, a little bit on carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are two types. Simple, which are absolutely fast absorbed in our body. There's complex. They are fast and slow. So, what are the simple types of carbohydrates? The table sugar, glucose, banana, mango, chiku, apple. Apple is basically fruit. Fruit sugar is also simple sugar. Lactose in milk and honey. And what are complex? Cereals like rice, wheat, jowar, lentils, sweet potatoes, and fibers. Now, what is the aim of carbohydrates in our diet? As energy source, which I just mentioned, it's fast absorbed carbs for quick energy. We need those fast absorbed carbs for quick energy, and slow absorbed carbs for sustained energies. And another main function is it's maintains steady insulin and blood sugar. How does that happen with slow absorbed carbs? Basically, if you are doing a fast absorbed carb, it immediately gives you a sugar spike and it gives you an insulin spike. So, but for our body to function properly, we need to keep a steady insulin and blood sugar level. And also, it also comes, carbohydrates get stored in our muscles as glycogen, which is done by slow and fast absorbed carbohydrates. What is it? Why do we need, again, requirement? Carbs are protein sparing. When we eat carbs, whatever protein we are intaking, it just goes in for your tissue repair and growth and muscle building. So that is why carbs are so important. Basically, they are protein sparing. If you don't eat carbs, then little bit of energy will be sucked out from your proteins, and your building up process there's a little it slows down your building up process. Quantity adequate to meet your calorie needs. So again, it depends. You want high carb, you want low carb. It all depends on your calorie needs and your metabolic function. Very important. If you have any conditions like diabetes, very important to eat low carb. If you are an athlete, you need much more. If you're super active, you need much more. If you are, if you just if you have to nurture your kid, I mean, you're running around with your kid, your baby or somebody, you need more carbs because you're super active. So those are the times when you really need enough carbs. And choice of carbs: whole cereals, pulses, fruit, vegetable, nuts. They are all. What is the best form of carbohydrates? Vegetables, because they are fibers. Best form of carbohydrates. Now coming to proteins, what is function? Gives structure and strength for your hair, skin, bones and muscles. Now all of us are very scared to eat proteins. We say, "Baapre, protein, liver function will go for a toss, kidney function will go for a toss." But if you go to see, it is there for everything. Your hair, your skin, your bones, muscle, everything needs protein. It also forms your hormones and enzymes. It is basically your protein. It's all part of proteins. Your immune function, helps to increase immunity. And I have seen that in myself. I eat absolutely optimum amount of proteins for my age, what is required. And touch wood, I don't even catch any cough and cold, never ever. It may just be a touch, sudden change of weather, little bit, I may just feel a little kharash on my throat, and little warm water and it's gone. So n equals to 1, it is proven that it helps improve immunity. It's just not that. Immunity for every other purpose. Now aim of protein intake, it's to maximize anabolism and minimize your catabolism. Anabolism is basically cell repair and growth of your cells. And catabolism is breaking down of cells. So what do we want? We need more anabolism in our body to have proper growth, repair happening in our muscles and tissues. We should always aim for positive nitrogen balance throughout the day. That is basically enough proteins throughout the day. Requirement is 4 to 5 meals with proteins. Each meal should contain little protein. Whatever your protein requirement is, divided equally in all your meals. And what is the required quantity? It's basically 1.2 to 2 grams per kg body weight. Again, this is a range. Now, if somebody is looking at fat loss, then typically how I say is 0.7 grams per lbs of ideal body weight. If anybody is looking for fat loss, that should be a protein requirement. Somebody is looking for muscle gain, they will need to just double their body weight, grams in protein and double their body weight. So everybody's requirement is very, very different. Now the quality of proteins. Most of us are actually not aware the quality of proteins. We always think dal is protein. Dal is actually protein, but it is a plant-based protein. But if you go to see the quality animal proteins are their complete source of protein. Proteins are made of essential amino acids, which our body needs. Okay? So, complete and incomplete proteins. Complete proteins have all the essential amino acids required for our muscle repair. All animal proteins, like example, milk, fish, egg, meat, paneer, whey protein, they are all complete proteins. And incomplete proteins have actually one less amino acid. Not enough for muscle repair. All plant proteins are example, lentil, pulse, soybean, sprouts and nuts. Now, typically, when we see animal proteins are more preferred in our day-to-day life. But again, we have vegetarians. Vegetarians also can fulfill their protein requirement through animal protein, where milk and milk products. But non-vegetarians have a higher, more choice. Now, why I say plant protein is not that superior to animal protein? The typical reason, it lacks one essential amino acid. But there is still method. You can actually, if you combine rice and dal together, pulse and cereals together, then you get a complete amino acid profile, the 9 amino acid profile, and it can again help you with building up your muscle and help tissue repair. Now, again, if one is in a fat loss condition, so then you tend to, if you are in this rice, dal, everything, you will need much more quantity to meet that protein requirements. Hence, your calorie requirement also increases a lot. Hence, you're eating more, and it becomes much more difficult to, pull down the body fat. It is not that it doesn't happen. It happens, but it goes at a much slower pace. Next is fat. Okay, dietary fat is not equivalent to body fat. Body fat is actually the essential fat and the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue, we all know that's the fat that is there in our body. And there are essential fats which our body requires. It's there in our body already. So which our body does not manufacture. We need them through diet. And then those essential fats will go into those for our body functions. And if in excess, it will go into your adipose tissues. So dietary fat, when taken in correct form, becomes essential fat used for different body functions. Wrong types of fats in excess quantity makes adipose tissues. Functions of fats, they are as a lubricant on the cell membrane. They are protection on the cell membrane, and it surrounds the nerve cells. And it helps in build up hormones. So again, we cannot go on a low-fat diet also, because if we go on a very low-fat diet, then hormones can go for a complete whack, which none of us want, especially our reproductive hormones. The different types of fats now. This is saturated fats, monounsaturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, which are omega-6 and omega-3. Now, these are the typical classification. You can see what is saturated fats. The fluidity is hard, stability is stable. MUFA is fluid and it's stable. Omega-3 is very fluid, very unstable. Omega-6, very fluid, very unstable. So ideally, you should have a mix of all. These are the different examples of fats. Every fat can be invisible, can be visible. Invisible in saturated chicken, it's because you can't see the fat. Chicken, eggs, yolk, red meat, milk and products. Visible, butter, ghee. The cooking oil is basically the visible oil that we see, fat. Nuts in MUFA. Olive oil, again the oil aspect is olive oil, groundnut, rice bran is the visible. Omega-3 fish is basically the oil, invisible. Visible is fish oil, flaxseed oil, mustard oil. Omega-6 is cereals and vegetables. They also have fats in them. Yes, they do, which is invisible. But visible is safflower oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, soya oil. Now coming to vitamins and minerals, importance, micronutrients are absolutely necessary for our bodies to function properly and maintain good health. Now, micronutrients, all the B vitamins and all these vitamin minerals, there are a lot of processes going inside our body, equations, reactions. So they come there, the small little things, the small vitamins and minerals. When we the whole digestion process, after the food is digested, it goes into a chain of cycles, chemical cycles, where all these vitamins and minerals really come as enzymes, as cofactors, and it helps you to metabolize your food much better. They enable the body to produce enzyme, hormones and other substances for proper growth, development and overall health. And they do protect our body from diseases. So where do we get our micronutrients? Everywhere actually. Micronutrients is there in every food that we eat. Vegetables, fruits are rich with micronutrients. But of course, nuts, seeds, legumes and animal products, everything is very rich in micronutrients. No one food will contain all micronutrients. So basically, certain micronutrients can found in different sources. Example, calcium is found in dairy products, spinach and sardines. Vitamin B12 is found in so many animal products like beef, fish, cheese, eggs. Zinc is mainly found in seafood. Potassium is rich in banana, spinach, potato. Apricots are good sources of potassium. Vitamin C is all citrus fruits, orange, lemons and peppers and broccoli. So there's not one food that is rich in one thing. It's basically a conglomeration of everything. So basic takeaway. Consuming the right amount of energy your body needs, that's a calorie. If you're in a fat loss program or in your weight gain program, whatever. So you have to consume your right amount of energy that is required for you. Eating enough proteins. That should be first. You should first, whenever you're setting up your diet, what I do, and anybody does, they always set up the proteins first. Then you add enough fibers through salads and fruits and whole grains, pulses, everything. Then limiting energy-dense nutrient food, which is actually the ultra-processed food. You have to really limit that because that goes and hijacks your brain. And when you start eating little, and if you are a compulsive eater, you will tend to go and eat more and more of that. And it's not that it is nothing wrong eating that, but what happens actually, you just go overeating it and it goes into overshooting your calorie requirement. And the minute you go overshooting your calorie requirement for a consecutive period of days, you start landing up into metabolic conditions like fatty liver, diabetes. Diabetes comes last. Your cardiovascular conditions goes for a toss, and your uric acid levels will go high. Pre-diabetes, all these conditions starts setting in. So limiting energy-dense food like ultra-processed food, and you have to of course meet your micronutrient needs, and you have to limit sugar, salt, and saturated fats. They are not bad, but you have to limit them. This is the key. And of course, you can always add some good food, superfoods like berries, then beans, very, very good. Eggs are again very superfoods. And actually all fruits are superfoods. Some seeds like chia seeds, very good. So keep adding little bit and always eat a variety of food stuff. Now, not just don't stick to one type. And I'm sure then if you just see all this, if you keep all this in mind, I'm sure you will be there. And of course, exercise is absolutely important. Exercise, as I told, start small. No need to just go, I go first day, I hit the gym and I start lifting up and I get my whole body sore, injure myself and come back and start the next day I will not go. Go slow, but I'm quite sure, and take one step at a time, you will be there. You will be at the fittest of health. Any questions? Yes, wait just a minute. Let me see. Last one. Wherever you are, you can be better, actually. Do not give in to normal aging process. Not at all, as I had just mentioned. And life is your ultimate sport, actually. So these are the 3 good phrases which I found, and can you use them? Yes, please. Tell me. So again, see, when do you feel like, when you get that craving of sugar craving comes in? When do you feel it? It's random. Anytime you feel like eating sugar. And is it that, can't you replace it with fruits? Fruits are also sugar. I mean, they give you that sugary feeling. No. So again, see, a little bit of thought process has to, but see, now looking at your age, you're very young. Even if you do that little bit of sugar, it will really not matter. But you should not be compulsive. You cannot go on eating and eating and eating. If you eat that little bit of sugar one day, you manage your whole day's calorie that way, right? It should not be, as I just mentioned, those ultra-processed, hyper-palatable food. What happens? You tend to eat more and more and more. You overshoot your calories. And once you overshoot your calories for a very long period of time, you'll end up into you start seeing a belly fat coming up, and then you're landing up into pre-diabetes or those kind of conditions. So, yes, you can have it, but at a very little portion size. And whatever, you have to account for it. You have to account for it and see, you have to manage your other calories well. If you're eating a little bit of, maybe whatever fruit. Ice cream though is horrible. I mean, that's very, very high calorie dense food. Maybe you can eat a small burfi or something which is roughly around 120 kilocalorie, and then compensate, just cut off one roti from there. Sorted. It is all because you're young. Now for older people, it's a different story altogether. For them, they have to, start, give them that time span of waiting. Yes, chalo, let us wait for some time. Let us not eat, and take a walk, maybe just walk out of that place, go for a walk somewhere and distract your mind completely. That's for older people, not for younger one. Younger one can always have one small little. You want to lose weight, you need weight gain. Muscle. So you want to, that's it, you don't have, maybe, I don't know your body fat percentage, but what you need is basically muscle gain. Yeah. 22, so 2% you have to, it will come down very easily. What's your age, if I may know? So you're very young. For you, it will be just, so you have to do good weight training, because that's the way you can build up muscle, and back it up with very good amount of proteins. You have to that time you have to go micromanage. You have to calculate I have kids, people of your age coming to me, and that time I ask them to micromanage. I give them the exact amount of quantity they have to eat. I tell them to buy a digital scale, at home. Measure each and every food, and it's happening. It's happening. No, this is yo-yoing. You are playing up with your metabolism. It's okay at this age, but as you get older, it'll fail miserably. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes, please. Hi. I can't hear you.
Hello.
Hello? Hello? Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, tell me.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So is over protein is good for athletes? Means amount of over protein is it good or
No, okay. So over protein, I'm not talking about over protein. It's the optimum requirement. How much your body requires. He may require double. You may require half. As I told, I gave a range, right? 1.2 grams to 2 grams per kg body weight. It all depends on your activity level, your age, your body composition. If you are more muscular, you will need more protein. So it all depends on different factors and your the range.
if it's extra?
So if it's extra also, initially it will really not matter. Later on it will start getting converted to fat. So extra means it's going over calorie, right? The minute it's over calorie, yes, it will convert to fats. Anything in extra is converting to fat, remember. So never eat anything extra. Always eat what is optimum requirement for you.
Thank you.
So first set the proteins. Always set your proteins. Then you do your carbohydrates and fats. If you feel like eating more fats, eat more fats. If you feel like eating more carbohydrates, eat more carbohydrates. But again, the fat and the carbohydrate have to be balanced. And as I just mentioned, for people who have metabolic conditions like diabetes, they should lower their carbohydrates. Anything else?
Any other question in the room?
Yeah, he asked a question. Nutrition is a very wide topic. So many things to say.
Hi, ma'am.
Tell me.
Am I audible?
Yes.
So, how to choose right grocery brand? Like lot of influencer like
Yes.
make that horrible face and tell me that
Correct.
खाते ये brand खा रहे हो, आपको पता है कैसे?
Correct. So that is true. Oh my God, nowadays these social media influencers are really coming on in so much of bang. Now you have to start understanding how to read labels. Now, what is your requirement? Like typically, see when you typically, what are you going to talk about? Which food are you talking about? Which type? Which one? Lentils.
Like organic brands are.
Okay. Let me touch upon organic and inorganic. I mean, organic and non-organic foods. Organic is just a hype. Okay. Now, I have spoken to people who do organic farming. They also need pesticides. Okay. Otherwise, what happens? Organic farming, their food, there'll be insects coming and pests coming and preying onto their field completely. Their produce. You all go for a toss because other side everywhere they are using the pesticides and killing all the insects and the pests. So the pests will all come down to their field and eat it up, right? So they are absolutely using maybe a little less. Ultimately, you are taking it in, right? It is going in. So organic is just you're paying extra money for that big hype. Just keep eating. I had also become part of that. I used to go every Sunday far away from my house to a big organic market, buy two loads of vegetables, and I used to come back for the whole week. Just dumped it off now. Because after I spoke to them, I realized it's all a gimmick. Nothing. Just increasing price. So these are all influencers, and typically when you want to go to the market also and buying the brand, read the label. Very, very important. Label reading is especially check the ingredients, what it has. If you see some foreign names, then just dump it back. Don't even buy. Typically packaged food is not that very good. It's really not very good. It's very high on salts. So stay low on packaged foods.
Alright guys, if anyone else has any questions, we can take it up after this session. Thank you Deepa ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Please give her a big round of applause.